This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain shocking revelations, violence, and sexual themes. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing the Alien role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is called Destroyer of Worlds. It was written by Andrew E.C. Gaska, and it is available from Free League Publishing. Our game AI is Tyler Hudak, and this is episode 1. So without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. Tyler.
All right. You've all heard of the oil wars. Hell, most of you have been on the front line as the United Americas, the Three World Empire, and the Union of Progressive Peoples have faced each other down over scarce oil reserves. Too many fronts, not enough grunts, as the saying goes. The United America's Allied Command, UAAC, and the Colonial Marines maintain an uneasy peace as protesters and insurgents cause trouble across the colonies. This is true of the United America's refining and refueling station on the frozen moon Ariarcus in the Kruger 60 system, with its oil production and space elevator reaching into orbit from the ground. But the colony is in turmoil and decline. The 2180 Weyland-Yutani census cataloged 200,000 colonists on Ariarcus. In the 3 years since then, all but 2,000 have abandoned the moon for greener pastures. While the military needs the USCMC whilst the military needs of the USCMC are still being serviced, most of the colony is now little more than a ghost town. 1 week ago, the Union of Progressive Peoples annexed the nearby 61 Cygni system. All communications with the colony there on LV-038 were abruptly lost. In response, Allied Command assembled a fleet to take back 61 Cygni, using the Fort Nebraska refueling station in the Kruger 60 system as a staging ground. That's where you are. You expected to be passing through Nebraska on your way to war, but each of you Marines were pulled from your companies before they went FTL, leaving you stranded on the fort on the volatile colony moon Ariarcus. One of the largest oil producers in the colonies, Ariarcus is also a hotbed of insurgency. With the UPP moving in on Kruger 60 next, the United Americas has decided to cut its losses and evacuate the colony. But as of this morning, that evacuation was suspended. All civilian and military transports were grounded with no explanation given. With the insurgency problem, barely a skeleton crew of military personnel and nearly 2,200 divided colonists stuck moonside. It's only a matter of time before the situation blows up. Now, Major Hatfield from the infamous Sin Eaters unit has summoned you for a special moonside mission. Every Marine has heard of Hatfield, a real soldier who always puts duty first and lost his arm as a result. His remaining left hand is always resting on the brass hilt of his antique U.S. Model 1852 Marine sword, with his shark skin grip bound by gilt wire. His hand grips the hilt as he speaks. All right, listen up. Everything you are about to hear is need to know, and no one else needs to know. Understood? As of 0200 hours, that's right. As of 0200 hours, a 4-man Marine squad went AWOL from this base with classified intelligence. Intelligence that in the wrong hands will mean life or death on the frontier. Intelligence that simply cannot fall into enemy hands. Command believes the AWOL plans to make contact with the moon's insurgents to defect to the UPP. We're looking for Wojcik, Carvalho, Wright, and Reese. Here's their ugly mugs. Everything else we have about them is classified. I want you to find these defectors for me, confirm their identities, as well as the identities of any other fucker they've passed information to, and bring them in. For the duration, you are Charlie Team. I will coordinate from Fort Nebraska. All communication will go through me on a secure channel. We are thin on leads, so start at the spaceport or that dive bar Oblivion. Some asshole there has got to have seen them. Remember, there are insurgents out there. There are insurgents out there too, so stay alert. I see some looks. I know you've never worked together before, but I cherry-picked your asses because each of you is the best at what you do, so get her done. Oh, and one last thing. Deadly force is authorized. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Hell yes, sir.
All right, I know what you're thinking, and you need to forget that shit. These bastards are not Marines any longer. They are traitors. They are shit-yourself dangerous. Your orders are to bring them in alive if you can. But if they present a clear and present threat, you goddamn shoot them, and you shoot to kill. I'll ask again, am I clear?
Sir, yes, sir.
I can't fucking hear you!
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
Sir.
On the ready line, Marines, fall in and move out. With that, Hatfield turns and walks away. Behind him, you can see, watching from a distance, is Colonel Myers, who is who's in charge of of Fort Nebraska, where you're at. Looking around, you are on sublevel 1 of Fort Nebraska, the vehicle bay. Nearby you is an APC, a rather rundown APC, but still functional, waiting for you to get in and start your mission. But you do have a couple minutes where if you want to grab some gear or do something else, you can.
I think I'm geared up.
Yeah. Stuck up on reloads. I run my hand along the old APC and be like, God damn, Bessie's still going to take us home.
We're going heretic hunting, and I'm breaking out the smart rifle, doing the movements, getting used.
That's right, Silas. I hate it when you fucking smile. Creeps me
Settle
the hell
down
out.
there, Private. A Marine is still a Marine. We're going to treat them with some goddamn respect.
No, they're not.
Sarge, pretty sure Hatfield just said they are no longer Marines anymore.
Yeah,
So
Worse than civilians.
less
we
than
shoot
human.
to kill.
Well, yeah, deadly force, as he said, but
Hell yeah, sir.
So there are 2 more Marines with you. Mason, who is a gunnery sergeant. She's also the squad leader, so the second in command. And she's also the chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear specialist. Additionally is Iona, who is a sergeant and carrying an auto rifle. They'll be coming along with you as well. With that, what would you all like to do? In the handouts that I've uploaded to you is also a map of Ariarcus, if you would, or the city of where you're at, if you are so inclined to look there. The major gave you really 2 starting points. There is so Ariarcus itself, like was stated, is an oil town. However, because of the evacuation, all oil production has stopped. Additionally, there are a number of places in the city. There is a very large spaceport to the south. Fort Nebraska, which is the fort that you're in, the Marine Fort. To give you a little bit of background information, has a space elevator that goes from the fort into it's tethered out in space, mostly to transport the oil when it is refined, to take it into space and refuel or transport to wherever. The space elevator has been shut down for the moment. The spaceport as well has been shut down. The spaceport is to the south of Fort Nebraska, towards the southern point of the city, and the bar that the major mentioned, Oblivion, you all know it as the Eye of Oblivion. It's really one of the only places that people would gather.
well, it
bar
sounds like we
sounds
need to do
mighty
a little
fine.
bit of it sounds like we need to do a little fact finding before we chase this down. So I think we should go to the bar.
You're the brains, Cap.
Flesh out the nest.
All right. Who is driving?
That'd be me.
All right, Private Logan. And just so I don't making sure that I'm not missing anything, nobody else wants to do anything else before you go?
I'm pretty equipped up, so
Okay, awesome. Excuse me. All right, you get into the APC. there is a ramp that lowers down into sublevel 1, and with all of you on there, you just or all of you inside the APC, along with Mason and Iona, you go up the ramp, start heading into the city. Ariarcus itself is very cold. The average temperature is below 0. Fort Nebraska, it's actually over a century old. The old, not refining, but whatever converted the atmosphere. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. That's where Fort Nebraska was. It was converted into the fort and then taken over by the USCMC at some point. It's also in the moon is also in a perpetual state of dusk, essentially. It never gets brighter than dusk. And so as you go up the ramp into the city, you see really what you remember seeing from when you came down. It's dark, it's cold, and it doesn't look very friendly. As you go through the city, the streets, you see that the houses are basically the houses and buildings are prefab buildings, cargo containers that have been stacked, fitted together, refinished into some type of living accommodations. But everything looks very dirty, industrial, lived in, and you don't see a lot of people. A lot, like was said, 3 years ago, this had 200,000 people living here. And now, including the Marines, there are about 2,200, 2,000 civilians and 200 Marines.
Is the surface of the planet or moon livable, or is this all underground?
No, it's livable. The atmosphere is breathable. That has been, yeah. Except for the cold, obviously, but yeah, cold. Yes. Okay. As you kind of move your way through the streets, you also see many of the pipes from the oil refining plants. They kind of snake through the city. They're about 1 meter or 2 wide at different places. Sometimes they go underground. Sometimes they're above the ground. But this is a oil mining town, and so those are everywhere. But the bar is, let's see here, it's probably about 1 kilometer away from Fort Nebraska, maybe a little bit more. As you pull up to the Eye of Oblivion, you see a large blue neon winking eye with a red crescent moon at its center, marking the entrance of the colony's really only open bar at this point. You pull up, and even with the APC running, you can hear just this thumping of some type of almost techno music from the inside. But other than that, nobody is on the street, and you've arrived.
Now, Captain, you want us to go in civvy clothes, or are we going fully geared?
Let's go fully geared.
Aye, aye.
Mason,
are we in the Navy now?
The Navy hasn't existed on this planet for years, centuries.
That would be aye.
So, but
I don't know. Spears, you look kind of comfortable, and you look like you might be comfortable in civvies. If you feel like that's
if you want me to go ahead, I can.
Well, you guys didn't bring any civvies, and you're all wearing armor, so you would have to strip down from your armor in order to do that, and it's going to take a little while to do.
Not an option, then. Okay.
And one thing to kind of reiterate too is the Marines are not well liked here. There are a lot of UPP insurgents in the city. So in fact, as you were driving through the city, every once in a while you would see, spray painted on a building, "Go home Marines," or "We don't want you here," things like that. So not the most friendly environment to you. Mason looks over to you, Silva, and says, "So do you Captain, are we all going in, or do you want some of us to stay in? Or Iona and I could stay in and monitor from the outside.
Yeah, do that.
All right. She said, okay. And there's kind of some monitoring session or TVs, if you remember from Aliens. There's going to be a TV with each of your names on it, a little camera mounted to you. You can all speak to each other. You all have communication systems. So you exit the APC. The cold just slams you in the face. It's hard to forget that you're in this just hostile, cold environment. But as soon as the APC door opens, the music just gets louder. The closer you get to the front door, it just gets louder. But you can feel the heat coming off the building or coming out of the building. It's absolutely very warm inside. So the 5 of you are going in.
Guess we're just rolling up full armor.
Think so.
All right.
Keep the engine running for me.
Captain, are we kicking the door down? I find that's usually the best way to greet insurgent dens is with bright lights, disinfectant, and a door kick.
We're on a fact-finding mission, Private. We're going in normally. Have a little dignity for the position here.
I'll stand back.
Don't give those assholes an even bigger reason to hate us.
I don't mind if they hate us.
Who's in front? Who's going in first?
I'll go in first.
All right. So as you're walking up, you walk up to the door, go to grab it, and the door opens, and this guy just comes stumbling out right into you. You can immediately smell the alcohol on his breath. And he looks at you and he's kind of stunned. And before he can really see the rest of all of you, he goes, "What the hell is a Marine doing here?"
Keep moving,
he's obviously
Civvy.
very drunk.
I'm just going to brush him to the side. Keep moving.
Like, yeah, whatever. He finally sees all of you and he kind of takes a little step back. It's like, yeah, whatever. You all need to just go home.
Tell you
go
what,
home
bro.
with the rest of them.
I'll tell you what, bro. We're trying to round up some other punks that maybe got drunk around here. You got any ideas where they're at? We're trying to get the fuck out of here too, man.
Man, screw you. And he starts to stumble away. Gets a couple steps away and just starts puking his guts out on the ground. He looks back at you, vomit kind of.
I like you better that way.
But yeah, whatever. You all say that you can't get out of here, that we can't go. The moon's closed down, man. Nobody's leaving. I hate to break it to you.
Let's just get this fucking job done.
Like, all right, what? He continues to turn around and just puke the rest of his guts out. So you're just gonna continue into the.
Yeah, let's fucking do this.
I think so. I have a hand on my knife. I don't like this. Feels like a tight space.
All right, so you walk into the Eye of Oblivion. Again, the techno music is just kind of blaring. The inside are a mix of white, blue, and pink neon lights. Just to kind of set the stage for you, as you walk in, to your left and right are just about a dozen tables with various people sitting around. In front of you, probably a good 20, 30 feet in front of you, is almost like an S-shaped bar that kind of snakes around and cuts the room in half. Dancing on the bar at various points are 4 dancers, 2 of which are male, 2 of which are female. And there are just various people sitting around, a lot more than you would have thought for being in for being in a place that's supposed to, an evacuation is supposed to be going on. But there are definitely at least a dozen or so people here. Why don't you all give me an observation roll?
So if you don't have nothing in observation, how does that?
Then you
if
just
you don't
roll
have anything
wits.
observation, you just roll with. And you only need remember, You only need to roll a 6 on any of the dice in order to get a success.
It'll
Two
be
sixes.
I got 3. I'm frosty.
All right, awesome. So for those who got extra successes, usually you can do what's called a stunt, where there's a couple extra things that you can do depending on the skill you rolled. I'll tell you in this case, though, just to keep things moving. So for those who only got 1 success, it's you see behind the bar is actually Chaplain. You got 1 success, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you see behind the bar is another android. You immediately recognize her as an android. She seems to be tending the bar. You recognize her as a venture type fee to pleasure model synthetic, which you find a little bit odd that she would be there tending the bar. The rest of you who got even more successes, you notice a couple things. First, at the bar, one of the people sitting there is dressed in a ship captain's uniform, not a military ship captain's uniform, but somebody who would probably be flying, one of the freighters or like a space trucker type ship captain's uniform. She is like kind of sitting at the bar, her hand on her face, looking pretty distraught. And you also, the people who got the extra also see that there are 2 people sitting in one of the dozens of tables that are scattered around, and maybe only a third of the tables have people in it. But you see these 2 people really seem to take notice of you when you walk in, and they kind of start whispering to each other, and one of them stands up and looks like he's about to start walking out. You do have pictures of the 4 AWOLs. I will say that you have those on you. You do not see them, any of them around here.
I'll clock
Captain,
the one that just got up from the table and do the chin nod at them and look at Cap, unless there's anything else we want to do.
Yeah, I'll like gesture, you can track that.
Can I assist by almost making like a pincer movement to cut them off while Logan goes directly towards them?
Sure. All right. You 2 start heading over. What are the rest of you going to do?
Captain, do you want to preserve the illusion that we're just here to get a drink?
We are on a fact-finding mission, but be subtle. Hammer, put that down.
Need to
I mean,
drink
do you
for
want
my
beers?
gun.
Subtlety.
Do you want me to
No.
get 6 beers?
That'd be
Captain,
good.
I'm backing you up on this, but this place looks like a den of sin and iniquity, and we would do best to cleanse it.
We need answers first, Private.
Fun later.
People on fire don't give answers. All right, Chief. Yeah, go get us some beers.
I'll go up to the AI, the synth, and say, "Oh, they've promoted you. We get 6 beers."
She kind of we'll go back to Logan and Spirit. We'll get back to you in a second. She looks at you and kind of cocks her head a little bit and says, "Have you been fitted with a drinking module?"
I'm not drinking.
Oh, for your companions then?
Yes, there's 6 of them.
Are you on duty?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, Mason. That's right, Mason and the owner in the car. So there's 4 of us. Sorry. 4 beers.
Oh,
No,
okay.
still 6. We rock, paper, scissors for the last ones.
She looks a little bit confused and says, "Normally Marines don't come in here, or when they do, they're off duty. It's very odd to see all of you dressed like this. But yes, of course. Hold on one second." And she turns around and starts to pick up the beers. Within a second or two, she turns around and puts them on the counter and says, "Can I get anything else for you?"
No, thank you.
Right.
Sorry, guys. All they had was this pumpkin spice latte crap beer.
All right. So as you're ordering, Logan, you start. You said you're going to start making your way over to the two. The one, he's a kind of a wiry individual. He looks very nervous as you start approaching him. Spears, you're kind of. Are you moving to like go around the back of him, or kind of like cut him off in front? Prevent him from going towards the door. How are you doing it?
So I'm gonna separate from Logan and try to cut off their escape.
He's the guy who stood up starts walking, and then he sees Spears kind of cutting him off, and he just kind of stops and then just looks at you, Logan, as you approach.
Hey, bro. Tell you what, we're just trying to find some buds of ours for a bit of a roll call. We'll get out of your hair quick as can be. You seen 4 other Marines coming around here? You seem pretty quick to recognize folks.
He's rubbing his face. No, man, I haven't seen any. I haven't seen any Marines other than you.
Is your skin
Marines
dry?
usually don't come in here.
Yeah, no, that's the damnedest thing. We got 4 that aren't checking in. Do you have any idea? I know there's a lot of folks that really like those UPP commies and shit around here, but just going to check in and see. Trying to find 4 little lost dogs wandering around town. Know anything about them?
No, man, that sounds like a you problem. Now,
I'm about to be your problem.
Hey, man, I'm just, I'm going, trying to get out of here.
Why are you trying to get out of here, man? We're just here to have some good time, getting some pumpkin spice ale. Why don't you just sit back down? Looks like Chaplain may have got some extras. Maybe we'll have 2 more. Talk with you and your pal for a bit. Maybe try and improve some public relations.
As soon as you say that, you can see him kind of chuckle. He looks over to his friend. He's like, "Yeah, figures the Marines would be drinking that pussy ass shit here." Listen, man, I gotta go, and he starts to push forward.
I'm not gonna budge.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoulder check him as he tries to do that.
Yeah, you do.
Man, people are fucking rude up here. We weren't done talking yet.
Look, man, say that a little louder, buddy?
Look, I don't. What do you want? What do you want me to say? I haven't been here very long. We just got here like an hour ago.
Yeah, and you're so eager to leave, huh? Man.
Yeah, I don't like being around Marines.
I hate to tell you, I don't like them much either. But whenever someone's acting suspicious and we have 4 lost dogs wandering around town, you can see how it kind of gets my hackles up. And I just want to make sure everything's above board here. Know what I'm saying? Why don't you come back down and take a seat, champ? Ain't nowhere to go. Moon's locked down.
Now, should they have an ID on them?
They might.
You want to check for that?
Yeah, I'm gonna start reaching for his pocket.
He kind of backs up as you do. It's obviously he's not gonna just let you grab the stuff. He's like, "Hey, man, watch out! You guys don't have any authority over here. I'm gonna call the marshal if you don't, get the hell out of here."
That sounds like a damn fine plan, champ. How about you go ahead and call that marshal? We'll come right here and just wait for him. We can sit and chat the whole time. See, my buddy Hammer over there, the one with a weird fucking cannibal smile? Yeah, he's real great at talking. Great humor.
All right, man. Look, what do you want me to say? He's backing up. He's kind of backing up more towards the chair.
How about your name, friend?
Yeah, is the buddy still down there?
Yeah, he's his buddy is really looking nervous at this point. As this is all going on, I mean, the rest of you can also hear it, or if you're watching, you can see it. What are the other 3 of you doing?
You're muted?
You're muted.
I'm watching the 2 guys like a hawk, and if they do anything that appears to be like pulling a knife or something like that, I'm going to throw one of the beers at them.
As you're watching them, you feel, Chaplain, you feel a hand on your shoulder. and you turn around, and it's the bartender. She looks at you and says, "Please, we don't want any trouble. We're trying to keep this as a safe place for everybody. If you have questions, I'd be more than happy to answer."
I understand. They'll probably have some questions for you.
Well,
I'm just watching out for my friends. I'm not going to start anything.
yes, but they're the ones who are going to start something.
Oh, well, then you should talk to them because I'm.
And with that, she kind of cocks her head a little and then looks at the rest of you, or at least whoever is, she looks in your general direction and raises her voice really above the music. It's obviously artificially, amped up.
Mhm.
And says, "Please, if you come over here, we can talk." And everybody in the room, as soon as wasn't expecting that, they all kind of jump. Even the two sitting here, they jump even more. And just to it all gets your attention.
I'll look towards the captain.
I am going to kind of put my hands on Hammer and Logan's shoulders. Gentlemen, you're making these men uncomfortable. Pardon my friends. If there's any information that you can give us, we can all be on our way.
The one who has been sitting down the whole time, he just says, "No, look, we've just, like my friend has said here, we've just been sitting here for about an hour or two, just drinking."
Is there any role that is like equivalent to human psychology, that kind of thing? Is this guy
I think
bullshitting me?
Yeah, I think observation would probably be the best. Yeah, that's probably the best. If you want to roll
Or just
for that,
just
go
a
ahead.
vibe,
Sure.
is he nervous because we're a bunch of Marines? Is he nervous because he's flying his ass off?
If it's
Go ahead.
oh, sorry. No, I was gonna lean back and say, like, they've been here about an hour. They needed to make the drop somewhere.
That's just the one success.
Okay. He's kind of he's kind of stammering, the one who's still sitting down. You can tell he's nervous. That you can definitely tell that they're both acting more nervous than they should be. They're definitely hiding something. And as the one who's standing up, you only got the one success.
Yes, correct.
They're kind of glancing at each other. I'll even let you see that the one who's sitting down, he every once in a while he's kind of like reaching down on his side, touching something, and putting his hand back up, and then he nervously acting like maybe he has
Twitchy.
a gun. Yeah, twitchy.
Very twitchy. I keep those hands where we can see them, friend. Unless this all go pear-shaped. Now, you want us out of here, and quite frankly, I want us out of here. And I know you're hiding something. So let's just put it all out on the table now so that we can be done. And we can all get the fuck out of this bar. I'll even buy you a beer, and I'll kind of signal to the bartender.
With that, the bartender looks at Chaplin and says, if would you like more beers to take over?
I think that's what the captain would like to. I'll give them these 2 beers, but have 2 more coming. And I'll walk over and I'll say, "Gentlemen, please, let's everybody calm down." And I'll put the beers on the table for them. Please have a seat. Enjoy the alcoholic beverage.
All right. They kind of look nervous. Still, they reach over. The one who's standing isn't moving. He's just staying where he's at. The one who's sitting down kind of reaches up to grab the beer, grabs it, and slowly starts bringing it to his lips. Just eyeing all of you very closely. Looking to see if anything's if you're gonna do anything.
Now, pardon my friend's rudeness here. He can be a little blunt, but we're looking for 4 Marines that have gone a little astray. You don't want us here, and quite frankly, we're ready to get the fuck off this rock too. But we can't do that until we've gathered our comrades in arms. So, have you seen 4 Marines?
You're asking the one sitting at the table, this, or both of them?
Whichever one appears the most jumpy.
Okay. It's kind of hard to say because they both kind of look equally jumpy. Although the guy standing up definitely looks more jumpy. In fact, Hammer, you kind of recognize some signs that maybe he's an addict. He's kind of like scratching at certain places, rubbing his arm, things like that. So he seems a little bit more jumpy. The guy at the table, finishes his swig of beer, smiles, puts the beer down, and says, "Look, like I told you, we don't know any Marines. You're the first ones that we've seen in a while. If you lost some of your fellow dogs, I don't know what to tell you." And the guy who's standing, he it's almost like he gets a little bit more of courage, and with his friend saying this, and he goes, "Yeah, we haven't seen any of your Marines. I don't know where they could have gone. Reese left a while ago."
Reese.
So how do you know their name?
What? No, I
How'd you know their name, you dumb motherfucker?
No, you must have said something. Don't.
I'm gonna grab him by the shoulders.
You grab him by the shoulder.
I'm gonna pin him against the wall.
Yeah, you grab him, pick him up, throw him against the wall. As soon as you do, the other guy stands up, starts throwing everything. Everybody, let's roll for initiative. So the way that we're going to do this, because normally in Alien you would draw cards, that's kind of hard to do here. Everybody roll a D10 and tell me what.
Oh,
I gotta get.
wish I had a D10.
Yeah, I just realized I didn't have one either as I say all this.
Hell yeah.
Highest goes first.
7.
9.
5.
All right.
Ooh, nice.
For ties, we'll do something. But for right now, you all are going before everybody else. Those two. So who got the 9? Was that Chaplin who got the 9? Oh, Logan. All right. What are you gonna do? Or
So I imagine as we were having this polite conversation, I popped out my combat knife and then to pop the cap off of the beer. And so just had it already in my hand. As he gets up to pop the table, I want to immediately hold it up against his throat. I'm not going to try and kill him immediately, but yeah, I want to essentially pin him right back there.
okay. Go ahead and give me a close combat roll. This will
Alrighty.
be against his mobility.
Okay. That is 4, 7. I'm going to push it.
All right. So
I've been nervous this whole time.
when you push it, you automatically gain 1 stress die, so you get to roll the extra die. But obviously, if you roll a 1 on that stress die, then you also have a panic roll, which doesn't necessarily mean that you failed the roll, by the way.
That's more like it. 2 successes.
Awesome. So you very quickly do that. As he's obviously reaching for a gun, you jump on him. Yeah, you said the knife goes right to his neck, and you can even see this very thin line of blood start to appear just as you press it almost too deep, but close enough that he stops what he's doing.
As I've got the knife up against his throat, I'm just gonna say, "Give me a reason, you UPP fuck," and that is my fast action.
All right. Yeah, he's just kind of, his eyes have gone wide. Who is next? I think somebody rolled a 6.
7.
There was a 7.
7. All right, Chaplain.
I've been waiting for him to make a move. So the second he makes a move, does he actually draw the gun out of his pocket?
No, his hand made it to it when Logan jumped on him with the knife. He hasn't actually. He like pushed his jacket back so you can see it. His hand is close to it, but it stopped before it actually reached it.
Okay. Then at that same time, I will reach forward and take the gun away from him. I'll grab the handle and just lift it away.
Okay. You're very easily able to reach in and grab it. It's just a like a normal pistol.
Close combat.
Somebody.
Actually,
go ahead and do that.
I got 3 6s.
Yeah, you easily are able to grab it before he can.
And when I do it, I'll go
All right. I think the rest of you had 5s. So
Hammer had a 7 as well.
Yeah, I had a 7.
Oh, I'm sorry. So Hammer, go ahead.
Chaplain, I've heard a rumor that the UPP always keeps their guns armed. Do you mind?
I'll hand it to him.
Thank you. And I'll shoot the guy in the foot with his own gun.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and give me just a ranged combat roll, just to make sure that you're gonna hit him.
I'm sure it'll be fine. 6, 7, 8, 9. Out of 9 dice, how could you? Okay, 1 success. Best will roll tonight.
So you shoot his foot and he just starts screaming in pain. The rest of the bar are just in shock. Everybody is kind of taking a step back. The bartender, she just starts yelling at all of you, "Please stop, please don't. We don't need any more bloodshed in here." What are the rest of you doing?
All right, I'm going to speak to the guy I'm grabbing onto, and I'm going to be like, "You hear the nice lady? It's not going to be any more problem, isn't there?"
Like, listen, man, fine. Whatever you guys want to know. Whatever you want to know.
Think you got better off than your friend. How do you know Reese?
But before he answers, what do the other two of you want to do?
So both of them are kind of being restrained right now. Is that correct?
I would say both of them are being restrained. Right now, Spears is holding one against the wall. Logan has a knife to the other, although he's currently falling down from being shot in the foot and screaming in pain.
Yeah, I'd like to kind of just make a gesture that they get the two of them to just sit in the goddamn booth so we can have a conversation like civilized people.
All right.
Okay,
Captain,
I'll sit him down into the booth.
Yeah. Sit him down in the booth. I'm going to spill my beer on the one guy's shot foot as I go to drink up from the table.
What is it, Chief?
Captain, I feel somewhat obligated. Should I at least give him a painkiller?
You can give him a painkiller when he tells us what we need to know. Maybe go have some words with the bartender. He's not a Marine chap.
He's all right.
Go have some words with the bartender, Chief. See if they can tell us anything.
Yes, sir. So I'll go over to the bartender.
All right.
I'm like,
so you head over to the bartender, sitting, the rest of you kind of get the rest of these two sitting into, the chairs or a booth to the side. The one is just, like he's finally, stopped screaming, although, he's he's pale. He's not really, able to form words from the pain. The other one is just, the one that Spears you had. He's Like what all right, what do you want to know, man? Listen, I'll tell you what you want to know. Just stop. Give him some medicine or something, man.
I'd like to whisper in the captain's ear. Let's separate them, ask them the same questions.
Good idea, Spears. Let's do it. You
So
take that one. Take the one that won't stop crying about his toesies. Take a fucking salt tablet and shut the hell up.
Where are you gonna take them? Just
Is there another empty booth? I'm assuming so. There's a gunshot.
Yeah, in fact, there are a lot of empty tables and booths now.
So I'll drag the guy I was holding up to the empty booth. It's a little quieter here.
Like, listen, man. What do you want to know? What do you want to know?
How do you know Reese?
I don't. Listen. They were supposed to. We were told to meet him here. We were supposed to meet some Marines here. They gave us their names. By the time we got here, one of them was gone. Reese was completely shit-faced. He'd been drinking the whole time, and the other two just I think had left shortly before. I don't know where they went. Look, I mean, we don't know where they're at. We were just told to stay here in case they came back.
Yeah, and who told you that? Who's they?
I don't know, man. We just get calls or letters or whatever. I don't know who it is. You want to go ahead and make an observation roll?
Yeah. Let's see what happens. No, failed. Can I push it?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you'll gain 1 stress die, but
I passed this time.
Awesome. Yeah, he's obviously lying. He is.
I'm gonna backhand him. Try again.
Listen, man. Look, I don't know. I'm not. I don't know where they went. I'm not telling you the truth, man. Listen. It was. Kind of looks around. The music is still blaring. He's like, listen, it was Botas, man. He's the one who told us. Botas is the one who told us to be here. I don't know anything else. Can we just go?
Yeah. How do we find this Botox?
I don't know.
I'm not fucking around. I'm going to slam my combat knife down on the table right next to his arm.
His eyes are just wide at this point. Listen, man, I don't know where he's at. He's got some compound in the city somewhere. I don't know where it's at.
You got into contact with him. You can do it again.
No, see, that's what you don't get. We don't get into contact with him. He contacts us. We get somebody will come and find us, or something like that. They don't ever. I don't have a phone number to call him or anything, man. What do you think this is?
Yeah, you probably pawned that off for drugs.
He just kind of stammers and looks around. You see him kind of feeling his arm again. Listen, man, just let us go.
I'm gonna look towards the captain and nod.
All right. And I've got the other one in front of me, the uninjured one. Let's have a little conversation. Hopefully you're a little bit smarter than your friend. What can you tell me about the Marines that you've made contact with?
Well, the one sitting by you is the injured one.
Oh, the injured one. Apologies.
He's pretty pale now. He's like, look, I don't know. I don't know what you want me to say. Can I just get a doctor? Can you just take me to the hospital?
My medic can patch you up after I have some answers.
What
can you tell me about the Marines that have contacted you?
They all I know is that they had some information. He starts looking a little bit greener than a couple of seconds ago. I just had some information. We were told to pick him up and meet somewhere. I don't know where. I don't know. With that, he starts to kind of gag a little bit.
All right, I'll gesture for Chief to come back. Give the man some pain medicine for his hurt boo-boo.
Yes, sir. So I'll start working on fixing his. I'm going to have to take your shoe off.
He as you do, he just starts screaming again in pain. With this, as you're kind of doing I assume you are actually going to be providing first aid or
Oh, of
whatever,
course.
Tim?
Yes.
Okay. It'll take a couple minutes for you to do. You've got all the necessary supplies. I'm not going to make you roll for anything like that. As you're doing that, you all see the bartender. She comes over to you, or more precisely, she just kind of appears next to you. You all didn't see her. Everybody except for Spears, who's off with the other one. And she says, I believe that was unnecessary. We're going to have to clean this up now, and half my patrons are now gone. If you had just asked, I would have been more than happy to tell you about the Marines.
I will. Do we have any money on us?
Do androids
I'm
work
sure
for
you have
tips?
some.
Yeah, I'll give some money to her for your troubles. Apologies.
Credits.
We'll have a word with you in just a second. What else can you tell me about Reese? The talking to the injured one. We'll get to the bartender in just a second.
Yeah, she's just still standing there. He says, "Look, ow, man, be careful. He was, I think he was here, but he was drunk off his ass, and then he left. I don't know where he went. I think I saw the marshals picking him up.
When was this? When was this?
I don't know, a couple hours ago, maybe last night. We've been here a while. I don't know."
And can you tell me anything about the other four?
No, like I said, nobody was really here when we got here. The guy named Reese, he was stumbling out. He kind of shoved his way past us, and that's when we saw the marshals pulling up, and so we just kind of came back in here and just hoping that we'd either see the others or they'd come back, looking for their friends. I don't know where they went.
And
Do we
where were
have
you
any-
supposed to deliver these Marines? You said you had a meetup scheduled.
I listen, man. We were. Give me a manipulation roll.
Oh, I would love
Oh no,
to as
the
I
wrong
lean
person tried
over.
that one.
Well, the thing is, I am menacing, so that gives me a little bit.
Okay, well, there you go.
I'll just.
I think that does give you Does that give you a bonus?
It lets me use my strength instead of
That's
my
right.
empathy, which is good because it's garbage. Oh, one success out of 5. Nice.
So how are you using your strength to kind of manipulate him to talk?
Leaning over, and the gun that I shot him with is dangling kind of pointed at his leg, and just be really nice. And I'd be real friendly if you just told us where you were supposed to meet him, and then the doctor doesn't have double the work.
He 100% believes you as you say that to him. He's like, all right, look, we were just, I'm not lying. We were supposed to meet him here. We got here. We got here. Like I said, Reese was stumbling out. There was another guy, Ivan Stoles. He's kind of wincing in pain as Chaplin is working on him. He says, Ivan met us here. He told us to stay here in case the others came back. They had all left, and Reese got picked up by the marshals. I'm telling you the truth, man. I'm telling you, this is what happened. We were just supposed to wait here for Stoles. He hasn't come back yet. That's why we're here.
While this is happening,
Mm-hmm.
do we have any trackers? Thinking of that kind of watch thing from Aliens, I want to put it in his boot while he is very distracted with this, assuming that Chaplin may have numbed up his foot and he may not feel it if he slips that boot back on, in case we want to find where he's going.
I also probably we coordinate pretty well together, Logan. So I've probably pushed the boot over towards you to do. so the
You,
guy's not looking at you.
you know, I think that makes sense that you would all have like one or two of those or something. Or
Yeah, I figured I would get another one in the APC, but like I can
Yeah.
take the one off my wrist, and I want to try and work it into the boot in case we want to.
Yeah, I see that. That's an item I actually have, wrist locator transponder. Yeah.
you, and just to say too, you all could as well, within the APCs, kind of lock them into one of the like shoulder harnesses things so they couldn't get out if you did want to take them. I'm not saying you have to, but just in case you didn't.
No,
want
I
to,
think
you could
these
do that.
rats will tell us more whenever they go scurrying back into their hole.
All right.
Well,
Yeah,
I would
Go
highly
on, sir.
suggest that I look at the other guy. I say that you take your friend to the San Rocco Medical Center in the East District. It's along Highway 5.
But yeah, man, I know where it's at, and you are easily able to do that. You know, they're you know, one of them is on the other side of the room. This one is just completely distracted by, you know, the, you know, bloody foot that he has, and Hammer just kind of leaning over him menacingly. So you're able to easily put that tracker in. He's like, all right, man, you know, I told you everything I know. Can we go now?
Yeah, you
For
should probably
show,
see
man.
somebody about that.
Yeah,
There's
And
only
since
so
we
much.
actually
For your
have
time.
transponders, I'm going to tell the captain about Botox.
Go toss.
Botox,
Toss.
the
Yes. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm following along with this conversation. Gentlemen, I'd like to say this has been a pleasure, but that would be a lie. I would pass him a drink. Have your pumpkin spice ale.
I really don't think
Let's
they
see.
should be drinking. He shouldn't be drinking alcohol with his foot like this. It's thins the blood.
Whatever you say,
You
Doc.
take care of yourself.
The
I don't
The-
waste a lot of medical supplies. I barely
just
patch them up.
enough to patch
Just
him up.
enough.
The bartender is still standing there. She
Yeah, you should
Silva,
probably
she
have
looks
some
at
words
you
with her,
and
Chief.
says, it has been over 1 second.
I appreciate your patience.
Of course. What would you like to know?
What can you tell us about the Marines that have been through here recently?
And I'm sorry, are you letting the other two go? Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
They can go.
As soon as you all kind of give them the okay, they, you know, the one with spears kind of jumps up, runs, and grabs his friend, and they both kind of limp out. As soon as they exit the door, you all hear over the communications Mason say, "Captain, they're leaving. Do you want us to follow them or just wait?"
We know we put the transponder. Just wait. Sit
All
on
right.
it, Mason. It's fine.
I want to lean back in my chair and say, "Nice talking to you."
So you ask the android. You can see that she's got a name tag on. It says Fee2 FEI squared. And she says, the Marines that you are talking about. Do you have there have been a lot of Marines that have come in through here. Do you have any identification for them?
Yeah, we show the pictures.
Pictures. Yeah, we'll give them.
She kind of looks at them, and you can almost kind of see a blip or a light in her eyes as she's processing them. Chaplain, you absolutely notice this, and she says, "Oh yes, they were here. I believe the last night. They had met with somebody. I don't know who that other person was, but they all ended up, I believe, leaving." One of them was quite drunk and belligerent before he left, and unfortunately we had to call the marshal's office. I believe they may have picked him up, but he left just before they arrived. We do have security cameras if you would like to see that.
I would like to see that. Yes, actually. Do the names Stoles or Botas mean anything to you?
She cocks her head and says, "Please follow me back to the security cameras," and stands up and turns around and walks, starts walking to behind the bar. You can see in the area behind the bar is a door that looks like it leads to an office.
If you'll wait just a moment, Captain, I'll go with you.
Okay.
So it's just the two of you going?
Get back together.
I'll be flanking behind the android and them as they're going in. Those guys were saying Marines don't come through here. Everyone was pretty damn pissed off at us being here. I'm suspecting she's UPP.
So I apologize. You're
I'm following them into the back, yes.
So you go into the back into an office, and in the corner of the office, and the bartender Fee leading the way the entire time, turns into the office, goes to a little set of monitors, and just starts pressing some buttons on almost like a VCR type or DVR type appliance, just going back to the previous night. As she's rewinding, it takes, it's not the fastest thing. She says, she looks at all of you who are in there and says, "I apologize. I could not speak out there. There are UPP sympathizers everywhere. I am less than sympathetic towards the UPP because I've seen how they act. I do not know this Stoles, you said, is his name, but I have heard of Votos. I believe he is one of the leaders of the resistance insurgency for the UPP. Unfortunately, I have never seen him. I have only heard of people in the bar talking about him."
And the Marines that we're looking for, have they come through here often, or have you only seen them once or twice?
Last night was the only time that I saw them. I believe they were here for about 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, sitting at a table talking, and they were arguing somewhat. And then a man showed up, short, balding man. Again, I don't know who that is. He's not one of your pictures. They talked to him for a little bit, and then three of them left. And the one who I believe his name, based on what you said, is Reese, stayed around to drink and started to get a little belligerent. And like I said, we had to call the marshal. After about a minute, she stops the security cameras, and you can see them. You see the four Marines come in, basically almost exactly like she said. They come in, they sit down at a table, order some drinks. You can see that they're kind of they're nervous. They're arguing with each other a little bit. Then somebody approaches them. It's a shorter guy, balding, wearing probably what you would consider to be like like oil worker clothes. Nothing fancy or military or anything like that. He sits down with them. Then they start to argue with him, and three of them get up. Leave. The guy sits there. He stays there, and then you see Reese basically stand up and go to the bar and start ordering more drinks. He's there for at least another hour or so. At one point, you see the balding guy get up, walk outside, and then probably 15 minutes later come back in. And at that point, Reese is just completely drunk off his ass. You can't really hear any sound, but you can just see based off of the way that he's acting, that he is just drunk. He's trying to get more drinks. Fee is pushing him back, and at a certain point, he just kind of throws up his arms and storms out.
Okay, that was going to be my question, is whether it seemed to, like, his level of drunkenness seemed to match the amount of alcohol he was consuming, or if we had seen anyone slip something in his drink.
No, you didn't see anything like that. He probably went through at least 7 or 8 beers. Okay. Probably did a couple shots as well. So he was definitely drinking heavily.
That tracks. Okay. I'd like to get print out pictures of all of the people of interest here.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. There's a little, I don't know, like printer next to it, or she gives you you basically like screen grabs of various times where you get some pretty good shots of them sitting at the table. You get a pretty good shot of the balding guy.
I realize that people here, there's a level of animosity against Marine presence. Do you have any information as to why this oil worker would be willing to meet with them? Have you heard any rumblings of anything?
No, not that I know of outside of everything else that's going on. I mean, I assume you do know that there is a large number of the remaining population who really have sided with the UPP. Maybe not openly yet, but they are hoping that the UPP will come to save them. Like I said, I don't necessarily agree with either side, but I've been around long enough to know what is going to happen when the UPP show here. The United Americas at least treats everybody for the most part well, or at least better than what I expect the UPP to do. And you do get the impression from her that she's, first off, she's an android. So, yes, she could lie. And probably lied pretty convincingly, but you're not getting that impression, especially you, Chaplain.
Well, Chaplain, do you have any other questions for her?
Yes, I'm just kind of curious why you're running the bar. Who's the owner?
Oh, well, the owner left about a year ago, left me in charge as the work around here and the war started to escalate, and the work around here started to dry up. We started to get less and less people, and Ariarcus became less desirable for many of our more affluent residents, my boss being one of them. He left me in charge, and I just check in with him every so often.
And you deposit the proceeds from the business into his account?
For the most part, yes. We do keep some here to pay for expenses.
I realize this is probably pointless for my dumbass, but can I try and roll an observation on her the whole time I'm watching her for inconsistencies? Because, I don't know, she smells to me. Android shouldn't smell.
Sure, that's going
He's a pleasure model. That's why she smells.
Ew.
Yeah, go ahead.
For what it's worth, 2 successes. Just, I guess if I catch any inconsistencies, yeah.
No, you everything that she's
it's so hard to tell when they're lying when it's just flat monotone.
Right. But everything, it's not unusual for something like that to happen, for an android to be left in charge of something, especially since they could run it 24/7 and not need to take a break or anything like that.
It's slave
they don't
labor.
unionize.
Exactly. At least not yet.
You don't have to pay them.
Well, I don't have any further questions.
All right.
Thank you for your time, fee, and access to this information.
Yes, absolutely.
Apologies for the mess.
She sighs, smiles a little bit, and says, "Well, that does happen. We're used to it. We'll clean it up. But your apologies are appreciated."
All right, gentlemen, I think we have some other leads to follow up on. I'll give her my information. If you see any of those people come back through here, give me a call.
Absolutely. So at this point, you leave the office, go back into the bar area wherever with the rest of you, or the I guess it would have been Spears and Hammer, right? Who stayed out. You start heading back outside. Is that right? Or is there anything you want to do before?
I go to pick up my beer and see that it's empty, probably around the time that Hammer burps, and I'll leave a 20 on the bar.
Right. You start to cross the bar area. In fact, about the time that Silva, Logan, and Chaplin step out of the office, you hear a crackling from and Mason's voice comes across it and says, "Captain, you better get out here."
Let's roll out.
So you go outside. Again, the cold, dark, and darkness hitting you. You see right next to the APC, and the APC is still closed up. Mason and Iona are still in there, but right next to the APC is another armored vehicle, very similar to the APC, although it has the Weyland-Yutani logo stenciled across it. Standing outside of the other APC, just kind of leaning back, looking directly at the door, almost as if she was waiting for you to come out, is a woman. You see her. She's probably in her mid-30s, dressed in very nice clothing, very warm clothing. Obviously, Weyland-Yutani. Just by looking at her, she smiles and looks at you and says, "Captain Silva, I do believe that we should have a discussion."
Well, that's quite forward of you. You know my name, and I don't know yours.
Oh, I know all of your names. Logan,
Perhaps you could return
Hammer,
the favor.
Spears, and Chaplin. I've heard so much about you. She kind of smiles as she looks at you.
Oh, do I know her name?
You recognize her as Mallory Eckford, and in fact,
Eckford.
she looks at Silva, and she smiles and says, "And my name is Mallory Eckford, Weyland-Yutani," and she reaches out her hand to shake yours.
I'll shake it. How can we help you, Miss Eckford?
I believe we have a mutual goal. I believe you're searching for some Marines, correct?
Yes, our brothers and sisters in arms are errant at the moment, and we'd like to get off this planet. What does that have to do with you?
I'm so glad that you're not playing games. I was afraid that we were going to have to go a few rounds verbally, of course. There's no way that I could compete with any of you physically. But I'm also looking for these Marines. The intelligence that they have, that Hartford told you to get, I am also interested in. If you were to potentially get those and contact me, I could facilitate a way for you to all get off this place.
That information is need to know, and you do not need to know. If that is all,
I'm Weyland-Yutani. We know everything.
Do you know where my Marines are, Miss Eckford?
Unfortunately, our knowledge is not omniscient. And unfortunately, we do not. As I'm
Technically,
sure
everything would include omniscience. So you're not quite everything.
Good point, Chaplain.
And as I'm sure you know, the four Marines have removed any trackers that they have. So we are not able to find them. I believe you have the skills and the determination and the wherewithal to find them. I'm simply here to make you an offer. You don't need to make a decision now.
The only offer you're giving us is a ride off this rock.
Oh,
The Marines will give us a ride off this rock when it's our time
Will
to
they?
leave.
okay.
Is that the only offer you bring to the table here? Because if so, we're busy.
Of course not. Just name your price. But she kind of holds up her hand. Think about it. You don't need to name your price now. I'll be watching. We'll be in touch. If and when you find the missing Marines, just let me know, and I can arrange a pickup, and we can even do negotiations then. And with that, she kind of hands you a card that has a number or frequency for you to contact her should you want to.
Is that all the information you have, Miss Eckford?
That's all that I have for now. Like you said, there are some things that are need to know and you don't need to know. But I do
suppose
appreciate
not
your,
everything is within your reach.
I suppose
Gentlemen, I think
so.
it's time for us to go.
I agree. And with that, she kind of turns around. The door to the APC opens up, and as she steps in, you can see at least half a dozen Wayland-Yutani armed. You would refer to them as dog catchers, just kind of like Wayland-Yutani, basically thugs, well armored and skilled thugs, but still thugs nonetheless. She steps in, the door closes, and her APC revs up and starts to leave.
She knows everything, but she's not going to share anything.
We could have taken them on, Captain.
It's not worth our time, and this is a pissing contest. She has nothing.
She only has temptation for us, and I don't particularly like this.
Okay, Cap, check this out, though. We bugged that fuck's boot, right? We're just going to wait until we find the rat's nest, then call her in on that. It'll be fucking funny. She's just going to show up at all this junky house. Come on, man. Please.
Chief, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that if Miss Eckhart is involved, there's a lot more going on here than a few missing Marines.
That I agree with. They want something. They have something that she wants. That is not our mission.
Perhaps it would be best if whatever she wants, we should get our hands on it first.
Absolutely. If traitors or not, I'm not letting Wayland fucking Yutani get their hands on Marines. We can handle our own.
Well, they don't want the Marines. They want the data that they had. The data that we need to get.
Yes, I'd rather put that data into Colonel Meyer's hands than.
What do we know about Wayland Yutani's presence on this rock? Like, what do they do here?
Not much. You all actually haven't been there very long.
Okay.
This is actually the first time that you have openly seen Wayland-Yutani.
Okay.
Except for the little labels occasionally.
Oh yeah, there's
everywhere.
There's labels and actually there's not. There's not a lot because Ariarcus was actually one of the very few
United Americas colonies.
It was a United Americas colony, but the citizens actually owned the oil refineries. It's one of the very few places that was not owned by a corporation. Now, once the oil wars started, the USCMC it had a bigger presence there. Fort Nebraska had a bigger presence, and so that's when some of the Weyland-Yutani stuff started to show up. But for the most part, there's not as much as you would expect to see if you were in like any other colony, and especially one that was founded by Weyland-Yutani.
Their deep interest in our people is a red flag. Something's
Are you
going
guys
on
all
here.
saying this outside the APC, or have you gone back in?
I think we've all piled
Oh, it's
back
cold
in
as
the
hell out
Right.
here. We're
Yeah.
saying this in the
Right.
APC.
So and as you walk in, or as you get in and are talking about all this, Mason and Iona are just kind of sitting at the consoles. Iona looks at Hammer and goes, "Interesting negotiation tactics."
That's pretty by the books, actually, where I was raised. We find it easiest if there are two. You take one to half capacity and the other is incentivized. It's really basic psychology. And
It was a shit
very
show,
fun.
Hammer, and we were lucky to walk away with any piece of useful information.
No, I think we could have gotten a lot out of them. The android probably could have taken a few bullets, and she seemed to be quite useful. And we already know that we just now need to talk to the marshals, and that will lead us right to one of the four. That's 25%
marshals-
complete immediately.
Potentially any the oil companies that this guy works for.
Additionally, they
Run him down.
probably know about Botas, and that compound in the city just seems like a den of vipers ready for some retribution.
Logan, you're going to want to make a left and then a left again up here on the main thoroughfare to get if we're going to the marshals. I'll tell you when to turn.
Yeah,
I know
marshals
when to
for
turn, Dad,
heading.
chap.
So you are going to head to the marshals then?
Yeah.
Okay. As you're going, again, just like I described before, is pretty much what you see. You do. I'll say that one of you or Iona or Mason kind of pulls up one of the TVs to kind of track the tracker that you put in the boot. You can see that they are kind of slowly making their way towards the San Rocco medical facility. At least that's the direction that they seem to be going. To kind of give you a visual, the Oblivion bar, the Eye of Oblivion bar is in District South. You are heading towards the Marshal Station, which is northeast of the bar. The medical facility is about northeast of the Marshal Station in District East. So it's kind of all along the same way that you're going.
I have the map in here.
You absolutely do, actually. And Logan, you're driving, correct?
Yep.
All right. As you're going, you get about halfway to the Marshal Station, and the radio blares up, and you hear Major Hatfield on it going, "Charlie team, report in."
Major,
Yep.
we've investigation continues. We have some promising leads. I'll relay the relevant information.
And he kind of pauses and goes, "Acknowledged. Just keep me in the loop. Let me know what's going on. And if you need any support, I can authorize anything from here. Over and out."
You gonna tell him about Weyland-Yutani, Captain?
Yeah, I'll mention it. It's fishy.
Oh, okay. All right. So when you do mention that, sorry, I didn't realize that you were mentioning that to him.
Yeah, sorry, no, I should have said that.
He doesn't break often, but you kind of hear him on the other end go, "Interesting. So are you going to tell him about that she basically tried to bribe you, or just that they're involved?" Okay.
Yeah, that they're interested in the Marines as well, and that they're trying to get a hold of them, basically, in their information.
All right. Well, keep up the good work then. I wouldn't trust them as far as I could throw them, and I could throw them pretty far. So just keep your eyes open. especially if you fall into any trouble with them, they're they may be Wayland Yutani, but they're whatever you want to call them, their dog catchers are still pretty tough. Not as tough as you all, but again, if you need assistance, if you need support, just radio it in, and we'll have some Cheyennes on their way to you.
Wilco.
All right. But the rest of the ride goes pretty without incident. Every once in a while, you'll see some people kind of standing on the side of the road. As soon as they see the APC come into view, they kind of duck out. You're not sure if it's because of the cold or because you're the Marines. But within a couple minutes, you find yourself at the Colonial Marshal Station. Every colony, or most every colony, has a Colonial Marshal Station. They are essentially the police for the colony. You get out, or you pull up. It's a decent sized building. There is some stairs that lead up to an entrance with some glass doors. You can see from the outside that sitting at a desk behind another kind of like sliding glass window. It looks like a receptionist who is like on the phone. She looks a little frazzled, but as you pull up, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I'll approach the receptionist. Like to speak to a marshal, please.
So are all of you going in?
Think so.
Yeah, I'd encourage it if anyone wants to.
Do you want us fully kitted out for this, or should we pretend to play nice?
I would suggest you play nice.
Play nice.
The authority here.
What are you going to have Mason and Iona do?
Continue monitoring the rats. If they make any weird movements, let us know.
Okay. They all right. So you walk into the Marshal Station. Like I said, you walk into basically a small room, a reception area with a couple chairs. There is this woman sitting behind a desk with the sliding glass window. As you walk up to it, you can hear her, on the phone, saying, look, I understand that there are people running around, that there's looting going on, the whole goddamn city is going nuts. I don't know what, we'll get somebody out there as soon as we can. And she slams the phone down. You can see on a little name tag on her shirt that says Olga. She looks at you, looks at all of you and goes, what do you want?
Word on the street is that you were called into Oblivion last night to deal with one of our brothers in arms.
Honey, does it look like I make house calls? Do you mean one of the marshals? And the phone starts ringing again. She goes, God damn it.
I thought she was the marshal. Yes, we would like to speak with one of the marshals.
She looks at all of you and just kind of, whatever, and kind of throws her hand and kind of points back. Right behind her is, you can see this, what you probably consider a bullpen. It's a open white paneled room with a number of desks. With several marshals kind of sitting at the desks, talking on phones and so on. She kind of points to the center of the room is a guy in a marshal's uniform standing there talking to one of the other marshals, it looks like he's trying to figure something out. And she says, go talk to Marshal Hyams. He's in charge here. I've got to answer this phone. She picks up the phone. What do you want? As you start walking back.
I like her.
Yeah,
Love the customer service around here.
As you walk back, everybody, there's, maybe like 4 or 5 marshals kind of doing work around the room. The room is almost hexagonal. It's white paneled. There are several doors that go off from the main room. One of them is obviously a holding area because it is a completely locked up door. And they're all labeled. One says holding area, one says interrogation rooms, one says storage. The doors that lead off. As you walk into the center, all the marshals kind of look at you. The man that Olga pointed out as Marshal Hyams turns around, looks at you, kind of looks you all up and down, and says, "What can I do to help the Marines today?"
Captain Silva, Marshal Hyams, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I was informed you were called to Oblivion last night to deal with a Marine. Can you tell me about the situation?
Let me check on that. Miller, he kind of calls over to another marshal. Like, did we pick up anybody last night? Any Marines? And the other marshal looks at him and says, I don't think we picked up any Marines. We picked up that drunk last night. He's kind of sleeping it off in cell 4. He picks up a like a sheet. He goes, yeah, he's over in cell 4. I don't know if there's anybody else here. Oh wait, no, they did bring in somebody. They're kind of questioning some other guy in the other room. But that's it.
And who's this person you picked up last night?
I don't know if we can give that information out to you. We'd like to be cooperative and all, but we do have rules to follow.
This person may be involved in a case of a missing Marine. If they currently, this is our only person of interest. If there's anything they could tell us about the situation at Oblivion last night, if there's anything you marshals could tell us about the situation at Oblivion last night, we would be grateful.
Go ahead and give me a manipulation roll.
Yes. I can actually do this.
You got 2?
Yes.
Awesome. So give me 1 second. So I think, let me look here. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the right page. So with the 1, you succeed. You always only need, or most of the time, you only need 1 success to succeed. But with that second one, you do get a stunt. So you get to choose if you'd like. See here, it says your opponent does what you want without demanding a favor in return. The opponent does more than you ask for, such as giving you more details, or the opponent is impressed by you and will try to help you later on in some way.
The second option.
The more details? Sure.
More details. Yeah.
He smiles. He's like, all right. You know what? We're busy enough here. If they can help you out and you can take some of these people off our hands, so be it. He turns around, pulls out a piece of paper. He's like, he hands it over to you. This is the guy that we picked up last night. He's pretty drunk. You look at it, immediately recognize the mugshot as Reese, as Private Reese. He also says, look, I don't know the guy in interrogation. I think we picked him up. I don't know if he was following him or what, but he kept he was acting a little suspicious, so we picked him up with him. He's one of my marshals interrogating him now. He kind of reaches around, he kind of hunts around, pulls out another sheet, another mugshot, and you immediately recognize him as the bald guy from the Eye of Oblivion bar.
Well. What do you know? 2 folks that we recognize and need to speak with. Marshal, would you be so kind as to let us talk to the gentleman you have in holding right now?
Reese, or are you talking about the one in interrogation?
Reese.
He's like, yeah, I mean, is he yours? He's just sleeping it off. If you can take him,
yeah,
you can
no,
have
he's
him.
ours. We'll take him. We'll take him off your hands.
So yeah, I mean, are all of you going? Do you all need to grab him? I mean, I
Captain,
don't
where are
care,
we
but
going to take him?
I can take care of it, Captain. I can escort him to the APC and make sure he's strapped down real tight.
he's like, look, we do have to follow protocol. So whoever's going in there, the door's going to lock behind you. There's a button in there. Press it, and we'll open it for you. We'll have somebody standing by the door. We're not allowed to keep it open. I'm sorry. That's just something that we can't do.
Yeah, Hammer and I will take care of it.
I'm
How
happy
about
to
it?
collect our lamb.
All right. Yeah, sure. So he just kind of, points the way. He yells to one of the marshals to kind of, stand by the door to wait for you. As you two start heading over there, excuse me, the other three of you, the marshal, Himes looks at you and says, do you want to go talk to the other guy? Is the other guy yours too?
We'd like to have a word with him.
Sure, why not? You know what? The less paperwork I have to do, the better. Follow me. And he starts to lead
Anything
the
I
three
can
of
do to
you.
help you, gentlemen.
He starts to lead the three of you to the interrogation rooms. So just so I'm clear, Hammer and Spears going to get Reese in the cell. Chaplain, Silva, and Logan are going to the interrogation rooms.
Correct.
Awesome. All right. So as you walk towards the interrogation rooms, just to kind of explain what it looks like, Hyams opens the door, leads to another mini hallway that has an interrogation room to your right side. It's labeled as such. And around the corner is another open room. It's a viewing room that you could stand in and watch the interrogation. He says, do you want me to pull my guy out there so you can talk to him, or do you want to just kind of watch what's going on, or either?
I'd like to watch for a minute. Let me watch for a minute, and then we'll.
Sure. Yeah. So you are all three of you going to go to the viewing room?
I'm just following orders. So yeah, sticking behind Cap. So
you go into the viewing room. You can see the guy sitting there, the balding guy. He's facing there's obviously like one of those one-way glass mirrors there. He's facing the mirror. There's a marshal sitting across from him. The marshal is saying things like, look, man, we want to let you go. We just need to know what's going on. You're acting a little suspicious. Things are something's going on here. We just want to make sure that nothing's going on or anything like that. And the guy, the bald guy who's sitting at the table, he's just kind of like rubbing his chest like this. He's like, look, man, do you got some medicine or something? My stomach's killing me. I just want some water. Can I just get some water? And look, I'll give me some water. I'll tell you whatever you need to know. And this back and forth seems to be going on. He keeps kind of pressing him for the water, and that he's not really answering any of his questions. Hammer and Spears, you two go into the holding area. You walk in, you can see that the holding area is a hallway, and then it jags in a 90 degrees to the right. There are 3 cells when you first step in that you can see. And cell number 4, from what you can tell, is at the end of the hallway from where you're at. You step in, it's fairly cold in here. It's pretty dimly lit. You if you had to guess, they probably turned down the lights to let him sleep it off. And plus, so he wouldn't be complaining or anything like that. What are you guys doing?
So we're gonna get buzzed in by
you were buzzed
Okay.
in. The door shuts behind you. You can hear the click of a lock. There is a button in there you see that you can hit and it'll buzz, and then the marshal on the other side will open it up for you.
Okay, I'm assuming we have stuff to like handcuff him, right?
Oh yeah, or handcuffs or
So let's just do that while he's asleep.
Yeah, Spears, hold on a second. And he's just going to straight up pop a stim pack into his neck at the moment.
You got to kick that habit, man.
Nah, Chaplain saw I was getting a little hot under the collar with this, so I'm cool now. I'm cool.
I don't think you have any stress, but if you do,
Yeah.
you would remove it.
Yeah,
He gets
no,
a little
this is-
manic and shaky when he's
Yeah.
when he needs a fix.
Can I do some banter with Hammer to lower my stress?
Yeah, absolutely. In
Yeah.
fact, yeah, actually, we probably should have done this. On the ride over, you all absolutely could have, used whatever talents you have to reduce stress. So
I can't wait to get off this rock.
everybody would have lost one stress.
I actually got medically discharged, and then the fucking major called me in for this job.
Oh, lucky. Oh man, you were
Not
gonna
at
get
all.
out.
I
You don't
was
think
gonna
so?
get out.
But that's terrible. What you want to live like this? And he's just kind of pointing around the cells.
He's got
Like-
a point.
Like normal people? We get to shoot people in broad daylight.
Listen, I've got someone I care about on a mining planet.
So? I mean, no, I'm sure they're very important to you. But also you have a whole family out there. And we're all supporting you in one glorious congregation.
I feel so welcomed.
You should, because you are. We're making the world safe from people like these weak individuals in Cell 4. This is wonderful.
All right, Hammer. Why don't we bring home our lost sheep? Let's bring him back to the flock.
Oh,
I'll
he's
pat
a
him on the
wolf
back.
he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. We got to be very careful about
Well,
him.
don't pull what you did at the bar.
No, I wouldn't do that. He doesn't have a gun.
You from where you're standing at the near the door, you can make him out sitting or not sitting, lying down. He seems to be lying like face down on the cot. Again, it's pretty dim, so you can't make out too many details, but yeah, he's definitely over there. He looks like he's asleep, just completely dead to the world.
Do you want to wake him or cuff him, Spears?
Gotta cuff him.
All right. I'll give him the flip.
All right, you watch my
All
back.
right. So you both go up to cuff him. Is that how you're gonna do? Is like one of them? Or how are you doing this?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll do the flip and Spears you just grab and cuff. How's that sound?
Very easy.
All right. So you go. They would have given you a key or something to the cell, so you're able to unlock it very easily. You open it up and step in to go and cuff Reese. Both of you give me an observation roll.
Fail.
All right. So who is cuffing him? All right. So you're just cuffing him behind his back?
Yep.
All right. You very easily grab his arms and cuff him.
Does he seem alive?
More easily than it should have been. His arms are very, very loose. It does not, no resistance. In fact, as you grabbed him, he felt cold to the touch.
Fucking hell.
Are you kidding me? Is he really that weak? I'll just haul him up by the back of the collar, so his head's dangling there for Spears to see.
So you haul him up. As you do, you see that his face and it has almost been like, it looks almost like chewed off.
What the fuck?
As you kind of exclaim this, you drop him, or are you holding on him, or?
I think the shock is just going to be, still holding on to him, basically turning it around to take a look at it.
So you see that you both of you see this. You also see that his chest has been exploded out. His ribs have exploded out as if something has somehow burst out from him. Both of you gain a point of stress. Back in the interrogation room, what the three of you are still in the viewing room. What are you doing?
This guy's not talking. He's just complaining about chest
He's just
pains.
constantly complaining.
God
Every
damn
once
it.
in a while, he'll throw something, at the marshal who's in there. He just to kind of throw him off, and then he'll immediately ask again, hey man, let's get like some antacids or something, just some water. You're really getting the impression that the marshal is really not skilled at interrogation.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna like
That makes
knock on
two
the
of us.
window. Knock on the window. Tell him to get your guy out of there.
And Chaim says, all right, yeah. He kind of steps around to the interrogation room, opens it up, and says, come on, Smith, come on out. The two of them step to the side, and Chaim looks at the three of you and says, he's all yours.
For plausible deniability, I suggest you might want to just go back to your jobs.
I've got a lot of paperwork
Go,
to
Logan.
do. He turns around and walks out, and both of them walk out into the bullpen.
Chaplain, you got any Pepto or anything?
You're muted.
You got to keep turning your voice box on, champ. I know that it's better for power conservation, but
yes, I do have something that I can give him. You say your stomach is upset.
And he, as the three of you step in, he stiffens up. His eyes, kind of widen a little bit, seeing, the Marine Corps walking in. And as soon as you say that, he's like, yeah, man, my stomach's killing me. I don't know. I think it was something I ate. Do you have like some antacids or in some water? Could I get some of that?
Yes, let me give you these. And when I do that, I'm going to say, if you don't mind, and I probably don't carry a stethoscope. I might not need one. So I'll lean over and I'll put my head against his chest to see if I hear gurgling, like upset stomach.
Give me a medical aid roll for that.
Okay. Medical aid. If I can do that. 8 dice. Two sixes.
Yeah. So you can hear. You kind of get the impression that based on what you're hearing, that he's probably got like really bad heartburn or something like that. You kind of hear like a gurgling from his stomach.
Does anything sound wrong?
No.
No. Right.
I mean,
Take these.
Yeah.
I'll step out to get some water if there's no water in here.
In the viewing room, we'll say that there was like a water tank or something in there that you could grab water from. He like grabs the tablets from you, just to start like chewing them down. And he takes a swig of the water. He's like, "Oh God, I don't know if this is helping. Do you have anything stronger?"
Well, just give that time to take over.
All right. Well, thanks. I appreciate the medicine.
Captain Silva, to whom do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
My name is Charles.
When people know their names, they usually come a little bit faster than that, Charlie. Let's try that again. What's your name?
I mean, is it really that important? I mean, the marshals know.
Why were you following my friend last night?
Your friend, you're gonna have to be more specific. There's a lot of people around here.
Man by the name of Reese.
Doesn't ring a bell. Is he another Marine?
I'm gonna give the high sign to Logan, like he can start moving in a little bit. Yeah. Us Marines, we're all good friends here. Why were you
I want to
following my
lean
friend?
in kind of behind him a little bit.
He looks up at you, and he's starting to get a little nervous. He's like, well, I mean, maybe I saw they brought in some other guy when they brought me in. He was pretty drunk. Is that your buddy? I mean, I don't know him.
Cut the bullshit. We saw you on camera at Oblivion last night. I'm tired. I've been doing this for a couple hours now. Logan, are you tired? I'm tired.
I'm very tired, sir.
I think it's time to just cut the shit, Charlie. Why were you following a Marine last night?
Give me a manipulation roll.
Can I try and assist by
you
menacingly?
Absolutely, you can absolutely get a bonus.
I'm flexing the hell out of my forearms right next to his face.
For Logan.
I can push it, right?
Yeah, if you want. You do get an extra die with you.
You roll it all again, right?
Yeah, yeah, so you get the stress die. You can roll any or all of them. So basically it's not a all or nothing. If you already have successes, you can roll the non-successes if you want.
All right, there we go. Now we have 2 6s. One of them is a 6 on the stress die. I don't know if that makes a difference.
Nope, that just means it's another success. The only thing you have to worry about is if it's a 1 on a stress die. That's when you get a panic.
So 2 successes. This guy's gonna fucking talk.
So yeah, did you want to do the more details like before?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
So he really looks nervous with Logan standing over him. And he says, all right, look, I don't want any trouble. Look, I was told to, meet your buddies there.
Who told you to meet him there?
It was Botas. Botas is the one who kind of gives all the orders. He's the one who told me to go there. So I went there.
Chuck, I've been hearing the name Botas a lot today. Who the fuck is Botas?
He's in charge of the whole insurgency here. He's the one who's been making the deals with all the UPP. He's the one who, for whatever reason, wants these 4 Marines. They're supposed to make a deal with him. That's why I was sent there. The Marines were those 4 your buddies were supposed to hand over something to them. I was supposed to take them, but they didn't want to. I don't. They changed their mind or something. I don't know. But they were going to hand something over. That's all I know.
So what happened then? You were there last night. Reese was there last night. He didn't hand over anything to you?
No, they didn't. Reese was drunk off his ass. That's why I was following him. I thought he'd lead me back. They were supposed to, I don't know, hand over. I don't know. I was told it was supposed to be some intelligence, but then not. I overheard, somebody else saying that they're supposed to hand over some type of samples. I don't know what they are. Some biological samples. Are
you sure you didn't get your hands on that? My friend here is a medic, and he can be very thorough in his searching, Charles.
No, does it look like I have anything on me? Does it look like I'm carrying whatever a biological sample is?
It sounds like you're going to shit one out later. Come on, man. Our medic here also has some pretty nice meds on him. He can try and take care of that. He can deal with the Taco Bell. We just need you to open up to us. Work with us, we'll work with you. We already talked with a couple of your little UPP fucks earlier, and they did not want to cooperate. Please cooperate, because I want to fucking go home and get off of this rock.
Oh, Private Logan, I'd really rather not have to repair any more critical wounds.
That's all right, Chaplain. Listen, you got those benzos,
what do you mean
right?
Critical wounds? What are you talking about, man?
Don't worry.
And I turned to him and I say,
if you cooperate, you won't find out.
He tends to do things with fingers and
what?
toes.
You can't do that. Can you do that?
Very stubborn. The marshals have gone back to work. They're very busy men. You know how that is. People have been very uncooperative today, Logan. It's just a shame, really.
It is. Could make our jobs easy.
Do you know where the 3 other Marines might be, Chucky?
Look, I don't know where all of them are. Okay, I don't know where all of them are. one of them, Wojcik, she was picked up by some of the others. He was taken to. Oh God, I don't know. They were supposed to hand her over and take him over to I don't know, our headquarters or whatever you want to call it. That's all that I know. The other two, I don't know where they're at. Reese is drunk in the cell.
You'll tell us where they took Wojcik. Thank you.
I mean, look,
That wasn't a question. That wasn't a question.
Like the realization sets in over his face. And he goes, "Oh, all right." With that, jumping back to the others in the cell, you have Hammer. You have lifted up Reese. Saw that his face has basically been eaten off. His chest has burst out. What are you two doing?
That's not too good. Let's let the captain know.
Yeah, you do that. Let's go ahead and get out of here. And he's just dragging the body behind him as he's going to hit the button to get them out.
So you turn around. You're still in the cell as you turn around. And in front of you, kind of peeling itself from the wall above the door, above the cell door, you see what you first thought was part of the exhaust piping or vents just kind of peel itself away from the wall, and this thing drops to the ground and blocking the entrance to or the doorway in the hallway. It kind of stands up. It has this polarized skin that's black in tone. You see this tail whip behind it slowly back and forth. And from its almost helmeted, scaly head, it looks at you and starts to hiss. With that, I think we'll call it for a night.
Excellent.
We're in trouble.
I'm in danger.
Our players included Holly Puto, Nathan Decker, Lex Hurley, Alex Sun, and myself, with Tyler Hudak as the game AI. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members. You can set up private games. You can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. If you would like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the dark future and the alien role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.